Welcome to HIT, Hollywood International Talks, a series of conversations that take place around the globe with international film industry players who influence the filmmaking process, from film commissioners, producers, and distributors to film festival directors and filmmakers. All brought to you by The Film Verdict, the premium international film review platform for the industry.
Hey, welcome back to the Film Verdict new showcast podcast called HIT, which means Hollywood International Talks. I'm Eric Micah, publisher and president of the Film Verdict, and I've kind of taken over the podcast situation for this week as I attend the AFCI week here in sunny but actually very cold and rainy Los Angeles. Next to me is my colleague, Rashid Bahati, who just walked off a panel and grabbed a very extraordinary woman. Her name is, and I'm going to get a Spanish lesson on pronunciation because I have a flu and a cold, and that's my excuse, Carlota Guerrero Bernaus. Bueno?
Well done.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, wow. All right. And Carlota is from the Catalunya Film Commission. And she was actually on a panel which I found rather extraordinary, mostly because my good friend Rashid was hosting that panel and moderating it. His panel wasn't as good as mine, which followed immediately right after.
We haven't taken consensus on none of that.
But here we are with Carlota. I'm going to turn it over just briefly to Rashid to talk a little bit about the panel, but also much more interesting, Carlota's point of view on diversity and what Catalunya is doing as a film commission.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Eric. I think that's what was so amazing is that, Carlota, you and what you guys are doing with women, I think is a model that should be replicated. And I don't know if other people have questioned you after the panel, but maybe you could explain to our audience, the whole dynamic as you explained it on the panel about the women involvement in film and filmmaking.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure to share with everyone what we've been doing. As I said, back in 2016, we realized that the majority of projects that were being funded by our film fund were driven by men. It was only a 26% of the projects that were being funded that were led by women. So definitely something had to be done. There is a very strong association in Catalunya called Dones Visuals. Visual women would be the literal translation, but they're actually a group of women in film who got together with the administration, with the public fund, to suggest a series of measures to correct the imbalance that, in fact, is quite unnatural. I mean, 50-50 men, women in society, and the imbalance in film. Something had to be done. So a system was put in place at the very beginning that went on from 2017 to 2019, where points were awarded to projects that had women in key positions. That was direction, script writing, and production. So the idea was that the balance would be reached, the 50-50 situation, in 4 years, but actually in 2 years, we got there. So that was amazing. And that helped bring another step forward to bring in more women into the production industry. So points were awarded after 2020 and still are for women as heads of department, cinematography, sound, editing, you name it. So going also below the line, so to make sure that more women can, fill the positions throughout the industry.
And the results are pretty phenomenal because you had a very successful Berlin Film Festival, correct?
Exactly. We had this film, Alcaraz, that got the Golden Bear in 2022. Directed by a woman, produced by a woman, with a female DOP as well. The director of photography is also a woman. So it was indeed a very feminine project in the composition of the departments. But it's not only that. It's not only the success in festivals, which is, of course, very important to us, But it's also the transformation in the way films are made and in the community, in the whole filming community. It is amazing when you speak to our directors, but also producers, women directors and women producers, and how they explain how they are part of a bigger community where they share their projects from development. They will read each other's scripts. They will take notes on everybody. It's a whole sharing that's happening with all these women being there. As I said, sharing, listening to each other. So production has become, in a way, more horizontal because of that.
Now, I also would assume that, although you politely and nicely said it's not about winning the awards all the time or at the film festivals, but the impact on young boys and girls. I mean, it's obvious that I would say young women, but actually I think it affects both men and women, young boys and young women who just begin to see this as normal. In other words, the same opportunities that a young boy now has, the young woman has, and it's a new generation that you're stoking. Do you concentrate on that? Are there programs in Catalunya which bring the younger generation of aspiring filmmakers together?
There are indeed. There is a project that's been going on for many years now. It's called Cinema en Curs. I find it very hard to find a translation for that, but it's a program to bring filmmaking into schools, especially secondary schools. And they work with many of these women directors that have been awarded or are being awarded at festivals. They are part of the teaching staff. So what they do is they will get all the kids in one class together to make a film throughout the school year. And they get the mentoring from these directors. And it's amazing. It's giving incredible results.
Pardon me for jumping in, but that is the new paradigm in learning. It's product-based learning. The children are learning firsthand how to put together something for the real world. So I think you guys are on the cutting edge with an idea like that. And as Eric was pointing out, to now what you've done with women is filtering over into the young males and young filmmakers are getting that same experience. So the inclusiveness of that is perfect. You guys are doing a great job with this.
Do you feel that, I actually, in my career as a young person, I got to know some of the great women filmmakers, Lina Wertmüller, Cavani, all in Italy, and of course Spain, Catalunya. You have great women filmmakers. So is there something with the Latina woman that makes you a great filmmaker and break barriers?
Wow, I don't know. I really don't know. But I feel that in Catalonia we are really blessed with talent. But it's not something that, comes in our blood system. I think it has to do, in our particular case, with an environment. It's a total ecosystem where there are film schools. There's the film fund that's helping projects, come off the ground with the development funds. There are the festivals, this education program. So it's many things that have been in place for many years that it's like you're watering your garden and then eventually those seeds become flowers. So that's what I think it is.
Well, I always have an alternative motive when I invite people onto my podcast and so forth. And I'm going to put you a little bit under a spotlight and pressure. The Film Verdict would like to create a new award. And, there's the Oscars, I guess, is a guy. Felix, I guess, is a guy. And what we're looking at is maybe creating the first Alice Awards. And Alice was a French woman who was the first director, credited to be the first French director of cinema. And so we would really love to have your help and participation in creating this International Alice Award for the first time, where a real woman stands up and we recognize not just women filmmakers, but we recognize filmmakers worldwide, internationally. So we hope that you will help us put this together.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, happy to help. And for the recognition of women, especially. Yeah, I'm very happy that Alice Guy is, being brought to light, because she deserves that. She's been hidden for many, many years.
And then off the subject of diversity, Catalonia itself is home to deep culture and history, writers, artists. Tell us just a little bit more about Catalonia as a region, and how the film commission or you and your commission brings films, international films to your region, but also how you export the films.
What we do, it's as part of Spain, what's been discussed during the AFCI week so much is the incentives, the value of incentives. So it's true that ever since the incentive was put in place in Spain in 2015, that has been like a magnet for productions. And the better the incentive gets, the more productions we get. I mean, that happens, that's easy. So that is, they were talking now, the three legs of the stool. That's one of the legs. We have amazing crews. I mean, it sounds, I don't know, repeated. Probably all film commissioners say the same, but it's true. We have very good crews. And it is because of what I was saying before, because they are within an environment that nurtures film and has been nurturing film for many years. So it's not only that people are getting better at working at international productions because we get more, but it's also that people are employed all the time with our productions. So that means that we have well-trained crews, that we have the vendors. So the whole system is there to welcome productions, wherever they may come from. What do we do to export our industry? I have the sister agency of the Catalunya Film Commission is Catalan Films. We are both part of the Ministry of Culture in Catalonia, the Catalan Institute of Cultural Industries, and we are kind of two sides of the same coin. We have industry and talent at our center. They work to send out the message to the world of what we do, what we produce. They are in touch with the festivals, with the film markets. And I, together with them, travel to put the spotlight on our industry and try to bring people to Catalonia to shoot.
I'm not quite sure, but I think, Rashid, you also told me that Carlota works with the European Film funds.
Yeah,
Film
European
Fund.
Film Commission Network.
European Film. Okay, excellent, super. And so you integrate all of the European film commissioners together to support European initiatives. Or do you still work vertically? How does the EFC?
The UFCN, it's a bit like the AFCI, only AFCI is the Global Association of Film Commissions. The UFCN is just for European members. We have more than 90 members, and I think it's 27 countries represented. And we have all sizes of membership. We have single towns, or we have whole countries. And what we try, together with Adrian Mitchell, who is the co-president, together with me, what we tried is to bring value to all our members, making sure that everyone working in Europe is aware that there's a full network of film commissions and film offices ready to help them, try to promote contact between film commissions and producers. So, yeah, make sure, spread the word. There's a network, a full world of film commissions ready to help you.
Well, speaking about spreading the word, the Film Verdict also recently launched something called Cine Verdict, which is Spanish language film reviews, features, and information, because we also believe that the power of the Spanish language worldwide is really one of the largest, what I call entertainment languages that exist. And to that point, what I would love for you to do, Carlota, is to sign off, send a message to all of our Spanish language listeners from Mexico down to Argentina to Espanol, our friends at the San Sebastian Film Festival. And if you could give your parting words in Spanish and explain a little bit in Spanish what you're doing here, how great it was, if it was great, and what your plans are in the future.
I will do that, but let me say something before. Do you have a space for Catalan in your Spanish?
You know, I knew you were going to say that. And so the short answer is, of course, yes.
Okay.
Sí, ciertamente. Sí, sí, sí.
Fantastic. So what was your question?
Sign off this podcast with your thoughts in Spanish to our Spanish listeners.
Bueno, gracias por la entrevista. Ha sido un placer compartir con vosotros, bueno, cómo trabajamos desde Cataluña. Y ha sido un placer realmente estar en la AFCI Week. Es un lugar para conocer gente nueva, film commissions, representantes de la industria, la prensa, saludar a antiguos amigos, hacer nuevos amigos. Una experiencia realmente estupenda. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias a ti. Thank you very much.
Gracias.
Gracias.